You guys can't tell when we go live on the recording.
Nope.
So Nick, what was it you were saying about Asian people? I think the women specifically.
That's just going to make us not talk about anything that's...
No, I'm just fucking with you. We're live. All right. Welcome to the Practical Pistol Show, people. My name's Ben. Here to answer your shooting questions. Also on deck today, Mr. Tim Herron, Mr. Nick Yantola.
Hey guys, what's up?
Yenwatala.
Good God, we're doing an episode right now? It's supposed to be a test.
Yeah, we tested it, and now we're doing the episode. So here's people, Nick. See, people are getting pissy with me about the lack of shows. So
Yeah, they are.
here's what happened, folks. We recorded a couple episodes, and they were fantastic. Really, Tim was saying all sorts of crazy shit. Hopkins was out of control. Yeah, it was fantastic, right? Tim, you were there.
And they got lost.
Well, what happened is the audio, so the new recording software did not record my side of the call. So, so I recorded it. I thought it was great. I thought it was going to be fantastic, and we recorded a few, and then I was like, oh shit, it didn't record my side of it. But by then it was too late. It was time for me to go to the next place I needed to be. So the questions have been recycled. Hopkins isn't in the mix. Nick Yantola is. And
You can't see me, so I don't know why I'm doing that.
don't know if you're doing what. Yeah, so Nick, your video feed is bullshit right now. But that doesn't matter because this is an audio thing, man. So the way it works is we need to get good audio quality. So then we'll just put the video feed on YouTube for the 1,000 or so dipshits that listen there. And then the rest of the people can listen to the audio rip via iTunes or whatever. So we should be good to go now. I hope. Sound good?
Yeah.
Hey, well, what I'd really like is if we could reproduce the brilliance, the majesty, the glory of the best 2 episodes ever that were lost.
And they were awesome too.
It was amazing.
Man.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
It was a coincidence.
2 episodes ever lost.
All right. Well, I've put the question in the group chat. I'm going to read it now.
Oh, holy shit, it's that one?
This is a great question. Tim, this is not new to you. Nick, you're going to love this. Hey, Ben, I'm a new shooter to USPSA, but not new to shooting, period. I shot IDPA a few years back until the gay rule changes took place that took most of the competitive edge out of the sport. USPSA has been a saving grace to pique my interest to get back into shooting sports. I've started to educate myself and train more to advance in the USPSA ranks. And as of right now, still hold unclassified status. Okay, you're not doing great, dude, but I'm glad you're training. My question to you is about keeping the motivation. Due to my competitive spirit, I tend to take my interests very seriously. But if I don't have a surefire way to measure my advancements, I quickly lose interest. I have to set the goal to reach a GM card within 18 months, but I'm shooting for 12 months, really. So the goal is 18, but really it's 12, I guess. I know setting lofty goals can be demoralizing at times when improvement is meek and slow at best. But I have and like to set many micro goals along the way to show more immediate results. For example, I live near 2 clubs that have the members of each club shoot at both local monthly matches regularly. And after my first match, I found someone who's a consistent B-class shooter that many of the other members have verified his stability. He beat me on all but one stage and was roughly 12% points better than me overall. So for me, my first micro goal is to consistently close the percentage gap between myself and said shooter until I can consistently beat that person, not only overall in matches, but every single stage as well. Jesus Christ. So the question, after entirely too much rambling, is setting smaller goals to chase better shooters until you can beat that shooter, then choose another shooter to chase. Is that a good idea? Or are you a fuck 'em all and focus on yourself and only you? Granted, you are the cream of the crop, so I can only see you focusing on yourself. However, for the rest of us shit shows, is this a good strategy or not? Thanks for what you do with this sport. Well, thank you, sir. Holy shit. Oh my God, Nick, what do you think about this guy's goals? He sounds like a fucking animal. He doesn't want to beat this guy in the match. He's going to beat him every stage. He's going to put his foot on the guy's throat. He's going to jizz on his face. He's going to take him down. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I like the micro goals element, at least from more from a training standpoint than a match standpoint. But I mean, in terms of measuring whether you're improving on a local match level, it doesn't really matter. What level of shooter you're comparing yourself against. You just want to find the most consistent guy at your match. Doesn't matter really what class he is, and just as long as he's super consistent, you can compare yourself against him and just measure that delta. Whether it's before, whether you're worse than him or better than him, it doesn't matter. You just want to see yourself improving relative to the most consistent guy that you can find at your match, and that's a decent measuring stick. I mean, it's not an exact science, but I think it's better than nothing from a club match standpoint.
But what about GM goals?
What's the GM goal?
He's got the goal to be GM in
That's a good
12
goal.
months or 18 months or.
Yeah, good luck with that. Keep on. It's a good
Nick,
goal.
Nick, you sound sort of dismissive and dickish when you say good luck with that. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I mean it literally. I mean, if you're motivated, you can probably do that. So it's I wouldn't shy away from that if that's what you want to do. Go for it.
Mr. Tim Herron, what do you think about this guy?
I think he's kind of setting himself up to be maybe a bit disappointed if he's trying to set himself up to earn a GM card in 18 months, and that's like his be all end all goal is to be GM. And because I think he's going to learn real quick, like, okay, I'm a grandmaster now, and holy shit, now the work really begins.
I like how you assume success. With the GM in 12 months goal, you're like, well, I'll just assume he's going to be able to pull that off.
Yeah. I mean, it can happen, right?
Yeah, it can happen.
Of course.
It probably depends not in large part, but it probably depends how good he is coming in. I mean, was he like, at the top of IDPA? Or is he like, we don't really have a sense of how good he really is now.
Wait a minute. If he was at the top of IDPA,
well, he said he was.
Then he shouldn't be 12% behind.
He's 12%.
No, the guys in B class.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, okay. He's getting beat by a consistent B shooter.
Right. So that's top.
So
of IDPA,
so if he's B class, then he's what? Distinguished master in IDPA?
Oh fuck.
That's a joke, guys.
I know. So distinguished masters in IDPA are a joke to you now, Tim, are they?
No.
Nicest guy in shooting, huh?
Oh my God! I knew that was coming.
I wouldn't say it's impossible, but he'll have to improve rapidly.
No, yeah, I mean, I think obviously having a goal. I mean, everybody gets into shooting. I'd say the three of us right now on this panel are already kind of thinking like when we got into shooting, it was. It was kind of one of your first questions, like, so, what's the best shooter?
What's the best classification?
Right.
GM, boom, that's the one I want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
They could have said the top level is the pretty pink princess, and I'd be like, well, that's what I want to be.
That's right. We all want to wear the fucking crown, right?
I don't care. Like, that's the one I want.
Right. So, I mean, to think that is an ultimate goal for this guy.
For him, he's like, fuck IDPA.
That's not dismissing.
I'm going to be Grand Wizard in USPSA.
Exactly.
That's what's happening.
So, but I do agree with Nick. I think, setting yourself small goals, to beat this guy by a stage, and then, okay, now I can get 2 stages on him and then 3 stages on him. And I mean, if this guy is truly as consistent as he's talking about, and that's his measuring stick, then that's a solid measuring stick to start really focusing on progress.
Okay, so. I will say this. I like micro goals as a concept, little goals that help you get to the big goal. But it's nice to have the micro goals be easily measurable and achievable and have some relation to the big goal. So Like, we all know that beating this B class dude on every stage of the match, like, that's a great thing. But that's not really. I mean, how do you accomplish that? You know what I mean? I would like to
Right.
see goals more like have my draw at X distance at X speed. Something that's very, very measurable for his training, so he can do that, or be able to shoot some drill in some time, and that's going to relate very directly to this goal of being a GM, as
Agreed.
opposed to, okay, well, my goal is to beat this guy in this stage, and then let's say he shoots this stage as good as he can, couldn't have shot it any better that day, and B class guy goes up there and shoots it better, then he's like, well, what the fuck? What do I do now? I don't know. I just shot it as good as I can. His goal should be, the micro goal should be about improving his sort of his technical skills.
I know some yahoo that wrote some books.
Yeah, and there's nothing in there that's like, go beat down on the B class guys, and once you can do that, then that'll be cool, and then you'll be a GM. Like,
Yeah, I mean, bottom line, you can find a shooter that's reasonably consistent, but nobody's truly consistent from week to week. So it's not.
I mean, the shooter may be consistent, but the stages aren't.
No, yeah, exactly.
Right?
Even
the stages keep changing, and that, like, beating a guy, being the top shooter in his club is a great goal, but that's a different goal from being a GM in 12 months. Right?
Oh, absolutely. And being a GM in 12 months is completely different than being a guy that can actually go to basically any match and execute.
Yeah, and actually do well at any match anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, that is a different sort of thing. So I like the micro goals. I don't think I'd pick that micro goal. Like, that would be the goal where if some guy's like, hey, I want to go do really well at my area match, then I'd be like, okay, you got a consistent B-class guy at your club. Go curb stomp that guy consistently, and that'll set you up to go do well at a bigger match or something. That would be how I would relate it.
Yeah.
Nick, you got anything to add to that?
No, I think that's good. Nope, I'm good.
Yeah, okay. The next question is a doozy. It has a strong opening. I really like it. I think my shooting has cancer. I've trained really hard this year and have definitely gotten better. I've shot over 15,000 rounds this year so far, and I dry fire every other day depending on my schedule. My issue is I'm very rarely happy with my match performance. I leave the match focusing on the mistakes I made regardless of placement. For example, I won production division at a section match, but I spent the entire trip home thinking about how much I suck and focusing on the things I should have done better. I know what a good run on a stage looks like and feels like, so my desire to perform at my very best on every stage I shoot. Just to give a small explanation to avoid any assumptions, I'm not swinging for the bleachers. I'm just not able to consistently perform at the full potential I'm able to display in practice. My mistakes aren't zeroing a stage or forgetting targets, but are big enough to be very frustrating to me. How would you suggest managing expectations and dealing with mistakes? Obviously, mistakes show you what you need to direct your training towards. Thanks for your thoughts. All right. Since we've already talked about this question, Tim, you know who the shooter is.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody else does.
I read something,
it's a big secret.
I read something into that, though, that I didn't catch before.
Yeah.
The part where he says, I'm just not able, just to give a small explanation to avoid any assumptions, I'm not swinging for the bleachers. I am just not able to constantly perform at the full potential I am able to display in practice.
Well, who the hell is, right?
That's exactly the point there I was getting ready to make is, you go to practice and in practice you want to kind of play every single card you've got. I mean, you want to lay everything out on the table. I mean, you're going for broke. You're learning to push yourself faster. And then when you connect, it's like, yes, I connected on it. Like I was able to do a 3.5 El Pres, and all A's or something. And then you go to a match, and I think it's unreal expectations to go to a match and think like, okay, cool, there's an El Pres stage there. I'm going to throw down and shoot a 3.5 second El Pres and all A's. So I don't necessarily, I think he's probably setting himself up to have kind of negative connotations about his shooting if he's if he's trying to make his performance at a match be the exact same as it is his performance in practice.
Well, I like what his opener is. My issue is I'm very rarely happy with my match performance.
Well, yeah, who is?
Well, that is like, well, you want to be happy? Like, I know plenty of guys that are like in C class and go to a match, and if they, they have a couple penalties, fuck up this and that, they're like, yeah, I shot pretty good. Like, is that productive for their shooting long term?
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody successful at shooting that I know hates themselves.
And even when you have a great match, I mean,
well, yeah, what
you can have a great match and be like, yeah, I shot really well, but I guarantee on the way home or something, you can think of.
Do you want to be happy?
Things you like, fuck, I could have done this a little bit better or that.
Do you want to be happy or do you want to be good?
Exactly. The two don't coincide.
Not really. No. If you're happy with your shooting, like if you're truly happy with your shooting, what are you going to put in the effort to go get better?
Right.
Like, so that should be a good thing that he's sort of perpetually dissatisfied.
Definitely, because it shows that he's hungry.
Yeah, he wants to get better. Yeah, I mean, this is why people burn out. So he's got to manage this. I mean, the expectation should be like, yeah, you're never going to be happy with your shooting. He should just accept, that he's going to be thinking about what he could have done better, win, lose, whatever. He's always going to be wanting to do better and be better. And really, that's the game. It's not about like winning some section match. Nobody really gives a fuck about that. Nobody's going to remember that in 3 months probably. But he will remember the mistakes he made and want to get better. And that's a good thing, I think.
Definitely.
Nick, I'm sure you have important and useful thoughts to add to that.
I think you guys killed it, man. I mean, yeah, his first point, basically my thought is welcome to the club. I can't remember the last time I ever walked away from a match thinking, yeah, I did great. And, there's nothing I can, improve on or whatever. So, that feeling's always going to be there if you want to win. I mean, that's just the way it is. So
that's good.
Yep.
Get used to hating yourself, man. It's useful. Well, guys, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit stop on this recording thingy, and maybe the people will get a podcast out of this. Maybe. They better. And maybe they won't get one. I don't know. Anyways, audience people, if you hear this podcast and you have a shooting question you want answered, and I like it. If you're a little crazy and you say crazy shit, that's even better. So if your shooting has cancer, email me. Go to bensteger.com. Send me an email, and we'll talk about your cancer. We'll give you a diagnosis.